Hello everyone, welcome to Advanced Knowledge Systems and a warm welcome to AKS IAS Academy, which is one of the premier institutions in India, and it offers examination coaching for UPSC CSC, State Public Service Commission, SSC Combined Graduate Level and CLAT examinations. About me, I am Sandeep Bhushan Tumala, and my credentials are I have 10 years of teaching experience for civil services. I take up international relations and internal security and the in depth analysis of the Hindu newspaper. And this session will be helpful for you because I would be emphasizing on the keywords and the key phrases from the newspaper. By that, we will identify the factual, analytical, and conceptual question for the prelims. And while you get into the mode of imbibing the keywords and the key phrases in your answer writing, therefore your answers for the mains examinations would be precise and concise, and you would score higher marks in the mains examination. So therefore, this session will certainly help you to score higher marks for the mains 2020, as well as it will help you to crack prelims and mains for 2021. And this is the daily news analysis of the Hindu newspaper of today's, that is 18th of December 2020. And before we start up with the DNA of the Hindu newspaper, we will first focus at the quote of the day. And the quote of the day says that once you replace negative thoughts with positive ones, you will start having positive results. So what is very important for you to attain success is always have positive thoughts around you or in your mind, so that you will certainly experience the positive result and you will attain this success, that is your long term and or also the short term goals. And now we will focus at the daily news analysis from the Hindu newspaper. And the Supreme Court here has made a statement or in regards to the farmers protest or continued protest by the farmers, and the Supreme Court has said that the protest of the farmers is the constitutional right. So it says that, that is the Supreme Court says that the farmers have the constitutional right to continue with their absolutely perfect protest. And it says that as long as their dissent, that is protest against the controversial agricultural laws, is a constitutional right until unless the protest does not slip into violence. So until unless the protest does not slip into violence, the protest against the controversial agricultural laws by the farmers is certainly a constitutional right. And the court also says that it will not interfere in regards to the farmers protest, because the right to protest is the fundamental right, and this can be taken into consideration as a fundamental right, that is right to protest, and it can be exercised only subject to public order. That means the protest can take place when or it is subject to public order and the protest does not slip into violence. So certainly the right to protest is a constitutional right and it is a part of the fundamental right, but it is subject to public order and it is legal or absolutely perfect until unless the protest does not slip into violence. This was the statement or the Supreme Court has said to the farmers. And the court also says that there cannot be any kind of impediments in regards to the constitutional rights or the right to protest as a fundamental right, as long as the protest is a non-violent and it does not result in any kind of damage to life and properties of the citizens of India. So until unless it is non-violent and it does not damage any life and property, the right to protest by the farmers is the constitutional right and it is a fundamental right. The court also reiterated the suggestions from making and or forming an impartial and independent committee of experts in agriculture to look into the farmers protest against the three controversial agricultural laws, and the court has reiterated that the experts of the committee should hear both the farmers and the union government of the laws, and then will certainly come to a conclusion to resolve the issue what is been as a deadlock between the farmers and the union government in regards to the farmers bill or the agricultural laws. So this can be taken into consideration as the polity UPSC prelims perspective. That right to protest is a fundamental right until unless it is creating any damage to the life and property. And now we'll look at the another news which wherein the Delhi Assembly has passed a resolution in rejecting the agricultural laws which were passed by the central government, that is the union government, and the Delhi Assembly has passed a resolution in rejecting the farm laws, saying that they also want the central government to repeal the three agricultural laws. And the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's government, that is in Delhi, has also notified one of the three laws, and they said that, that is the Kejri government has said that they will discuss the other two. So one of the farm laws have been notified by the Delhi government or the Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's government, and there would be a discussion on the other two. And the resolution to repeal the laws was introduced in the Delhi Assembly by the Delhi Transport Minister Kailash Gehlot. And we have seen in the past, recent past, that there were another two states which have also passed a resolution in rejecting the farm laws which were introduced or passed by the parliament, that is Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. And Delhi follows Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh in rejecting the laws, that is the farm laws which were introduced or passed by the parliament. And there is another news in regards to the strengthening of ties. So strengthening of ties between India and Bangladesh is a priority, and this was made it very clear by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi while he was inaugurating a summit level talks which was virtually inaugurated on December 17th, making it very clear that Bangladesh is certainly a major pillar of India's neighborhood first policy. So the emphasis by our Prime Minister Narendra Modi is on to the keyword or the policy, that is neighborhood first policy, and this is a keyword which you need to focus for prelims as well as mains perspective, mains 2020, that the India's first policy or neighborhood first policy of India is, Prime Minister Modi says that Bangladesh is a major pillar of the India's neighborhood first policy. And both the leaders, that is both the Prime Ministers of India and Bangladesh, have remotely launched a rail link, and this rail link will connect, or it is between Chilahati from Bangladesh to Haldibari in West Bengal, and this rail link is the fifth rail link between both the countries. And this Chilahati Haldibari rail link was last operated, or it was in operation in the year 1965, and since then it is not in operation. And now both the governments or both the Prime Minister have taken an initiative to again relaunch the rail link between Chilahati and Haldibari. Chilahati is in Bangladesh and Haldibari in West Bengal. And our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted Bangladesh on the occasion because it is a centenary of Mujibur Rahman, on the occasion of the centenary of Bangabandhu. Who is the Bangabandhu of Bangladesh? Sheikh Mujibur Rahman is the Bangabandhu of Bangladesh, and our Prime Minister Narendra Modi has greeted Bangladesh people on the centenary of Bangabandhu, that is Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. And in a joint statement which was issued by both the countries, that there would be a filming of a biopic on the Bangabandhu, that is Mujibur Rahman. A film or a biopic would be taken up and this would begin under the direction of Shyam Benegal in the year January 2020. So this again in regards to the India-Bangladesh cultural diplomacy, you can take this as the prelims perspective, and you can also use these short notes for the mains examination, that is the cultural diplomacy between India and Bangladesh. So there is a film which are filming of a biopic on Mujibur Rahman, and it would be directed of by Shyam Benegal in the year January 2020, and the joint statement was also pledged to name a road from Mujibnagar in West Bengal and Nadia to as the it would be named as Shadinota Shorok, and this road which is from Mujibur Rahman to West Bengals of Nadia is the name or is the place wherein the government in exile was formed in the year 1971. So Mujibnagar is certainly a crucial place wherein in the formation of the Bangladesh country. And there were 7 agreements which were signed between both the countries, that is India and Bangladesh, in the virtual summit, and these 7 agreements are part of them are on the hydrocarbons, high impact community development projects, elephant conservation, solid waste management, agriculture, and terms of reference to India-Bangladesh CO Forum. So these agreements were concluded between India and Bangladesh in the virtual summit level, and both the sides have agreed to hold an early joint boundary conference. So along with the agreements in regards to the hydrocarbon, high impact community development project, elephant conservation, solid waste management, agriculture, and in regards to the CO forum, both the countries have also agreed to have a meeting on the joint boundary conference, and by this both the countries will prepare or will start a process in regards to setting up a new set of strip maps and this will be the joint boundary conference will set up its strip maps which will stretch from Ichamati, Kalindi, Raimongol and Haribanga rivers from the main pillar 1 to land boundary terminus between both the countries. So this is also, the summit is also emphasizing on the joint boundary conference. So trying to resolve the boundary issue or boundary demarcation between India and Bangladesh, and this exercise, that is the joint boundary conference, will certainly help in fixing the international boundary between India and Bangladesh. So certainly this is a very positive move by the joint boundary conference between India and Bangladesh. So this news also can be taken into consideration as part of the international relations, that is the bilateral relations between India and Bangladesh. And there is another news which talks about ISRO launches the communication satellite, and ISRO has successfully placed the 42nd communication satellite called as CMS-01, and which has actually carried the communication satellite, that is the 42nd communication satellite CMS-01 is PSLV C50, that is Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle is C50, that is PSLV C50, and this has been launched by the second launch pad from the Satish Dhawan Space Center of Sriharikota range on December 17th. And this PSLV C50, the launch which has taken up is the 52nd mission, and this mission is configured as XL version, and this XL version has 6 strap-on motors. The PSLV 52nd mission has 6 strap-on motors so that it can lift the communication satellite, and it has lifted at 3:41 p.m. on December 17, 2020. And the satellite, that is the communication satellite CMS-01, was placed in the precise geosynchronized transfer orbit, that is called as GTO. So the placement of the placing of the 42nd communication satellite CMS-01 is in the geosynchronized transfer orbit GTO, and it was placed precisely after 20 minutes of the liftoff from the PSLV C-50, which is the 52nd mission of ISRO for the launch of the 42nd communication satellite, that is called as CMS-01. And the ISRO's chairman K. Sivan has said that the communication satellite would act as a continuation to the existing satellite which was launched 11 years ago, that is GSAT-12. So CMS-01 will act as a continuation of the existing or the already launched satellite, that is GSAT-12, 11 years back, that is 2009. And the chairman has also said that there would be a next launch by the PSLV C-51, and this launch by the PSLV C-51 will certainly be a special mission for ISRO itself, because this mission, that is by the PSLV C-51, would carry the vehicle PSLV C-51 would carry country's first private sector satellite. Why it is a special mission? Because PSLV C-51 will carry the India's or country's first private sector satellite, and this is, or the carrying of the first private sector satellite is under the program which is announced by the Indian government, and the program which is announced by the Indian government is called as a Space Reforms Program. So as part of the Space Reforms Programs announced by the Indian government, PSLV C-51, that is the next launch, will carry first private sector satellite, and this first satellite is from Pixel India, and the name of the satellite is Anand, and it will be on board launched by PSLV C-51. So these crucial information are important for prelims as well as mains perspective, that focusing in regards to the keyword for the mains examination is Space Reforms Program, or India's mission Space Reforms Program, which was announced by Indian government, and the first satellite which would be launched as part of the Space Reforms Program is from Pixel India. The name of the satellite would be Anand. So this crucial information can also be added as part of your short notes for the mains examination in regards to the launch of the communication satellites and launch of the first private sector satellites as part of the space reforms programs. And the chairman has also said that two more satellites would be launched, that is Satish Sat, that will be from Space Kits India, and there would be another satellite which would be launched is Unity Sat, and which would be from a consortium of universities, that is all or many of the universities will come forward and then develop this Unity Sat, and from Space Kits India this Satish Sat would be developed, and two satellites, that is these two satellites would be launched in the next mission, that is with the PSLV C-51. And ISRO's chairman has said that PSLV C-51 launch will certainly be, or it will mark a new era of space reforms in India. So the keyword is space reforms in India, and this will be a probable question for the mains 2020 in regards to the science and technology, the space reforms programs in India. So this information is also very subjective to the mains and prelims of UPSC. And there is another news which talks about free grain scheme. So this free grain scheme has been put forth, or it has been demanded by the parliamentary committee members, that is the standing committee members, there was a meeting and there was a demand by the members of the House panel or the parliamentary committee that there would be or there should be an extension of the free food grain scheme. And this free food grain scheme has been started by the government as part of the COVID-19 relief package. But this program or the free food grain scheme which was started by the government has ended on November 30. As it has ended on November 30, the members of the parliamentary committee, that is the standing committee on food, consumer affairs and public distribution members, have raised the issue saying that this has to be extended, or the extension of the scheme, that is free food grain scheme, should be extended as it has been ended on November 30. And the standing committee on food, consumer affairs and public distribution is headed by the leader of Trinamool Congress, that is Sudip Bandyopadhyay, and the members are of the view that the free food grain scheme should be continued or it should be extended till the COVID-19 vaccine was approved and distributed to the public. The scheme should be extended. So there is a very clear demand made by the members of the Standing Committee of Food, Consumer Affairs and Public Distribution. Until the vaccine is approved and distributed to the public, the scheme should be extended. And now we will look at what is that scheme under which it was introduced. That is the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana was announced in the month of March, that is 2020, by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman as part of the package. So this Yojana scheme, that is Anna Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, is the one which was introduced, and this scheme covers 80 crore ration card holders, and each household gets 5 kg of rice or wheat and 1 kg of pulses under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, that is free food grain scheme, which has started in the month of March. And while the scheme was announced for only 3 months initially in the month of March, and it was first ended up in the month of June 30 of 2020, but later on the government of India has extended till November 30, and on November 30, 2020, the free food grain scheme has been ended. And now the members of the parliamentary committee or standing committee of food, consumer affairs and public distribution is certainly demanding the government to extend the free food grain scheme under the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana. So this is also an important news for prelims as well as mains, because it is a welfare scheme. It is a welfare scheme which has been taken up by the government of India, that is in regards to the providing free food as part of the package which was introduced by the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman. So now we will recapitulate the DNA, that is the Daily News Analysis. And the Supreme Court has said that the right to protest is a constitutional right or the fundamental right until unless it is causing any damage to the life or the property, or it doesn't get into the mode of violence. So it is part of the polity. You can look into it from prelims as well as mains perspective. And the Delhi Assembly has passed a resolution in rejecting the agricultural laws which was introduced by the central government, and the other assemblies which have also rejected the laws and which have been passed in the assembly are Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh. So strengthening of the ties, this is as part of the international relations, that is the bilateral relations between India and Bangladesh. So this is again crucial for mains examination, that is mains 2020, in regards to India with neighboring countries. and this is again part of the science and technology or the space research that in ISRO has launched satellites for communication. So you need to look at the PSLV C50 and PSLV C51, wherein the next launch would be taking up, and this here the satellite name would be Anand, and this would be the first private satellite, and this would be part of the space reforms taken up by the central government or the government of India. And the House panel wants the free grain scheme to be extended, and this is part of the welfare schemes wherein the Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, wherein we have 5 kgs of rice and wheat and 1 kg of pulses, and the House panel for the food consumer affairs and have discussed, and they are demanding the government to extend it further even after being stopped on November 30, 2020, because they wanted until unless the vaccine is distributed and it is available to everyone, to the people, the scheme has to be extended. So I hope this session was informative, knowledgeable session, and I would say that it would be useful for mains as well as prelims examinations. So I would say a very big thank you to all and a good luck to you all. That means good luck even when things are bad. Take time to smile. You can find a way to reach the top. And do maintain the consistency, stick to your schedule and take care of your physical health and mental health. And do not forget to like the video, share the video, and subscribe the AKS IAS Academy English medium YouTube channel, and also have access to the website and then sign in to Telegram link of AKS IAS Academy, that is the advanced knowledge system. And then see you again tomorrow for the daily news analysis, and then make sure that you are being benefited by the daily news analysis of AKS IAS Academy. Thank you very much.